Good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chat Show with me and my co host. Super excited this morning. We're just jumping on real quick. This is going to be our last episode of the year. Before we start, who am I? I'm Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Women's Institute of Self Development and Efficacy, WISE for short. We are a group that helps women become unshakable, faith filled, and purpose driven, as well as we do that through conferences, retreats, mentorship, coaching. We definitely want women to get to the next level in their life, especially holistically. I also am the founder of a running community, a 501c3 called Fat Girls Run. And that's a group that we focus on helping women feel good about themselves, no body shaming, and really focus on their health and wellness. And then, of course, I'm a mom of three beautiful girls, and I am a real estate investor. So that is who I am. I'll pass it over to you, Kim.
Good morning, Wise community. Kimberly Montesinos here, owner of Crystal Clear Cleaning, which a lot of you know is a residential and small commercial cleaning company. We've been around, and in 10 days, it'll be my 20-year anniversary. So I'm excited about that. January is when I started in 2004. Boy, time flies. And I'm also a marketing rep for Melaleuca. So if you're interested in having a home that's non-toxic and you can shop in aisles, just like it's Sam's or Costco or Amazon, you can do that and choose non-toxic products. I also have in the summer, decided to get a coaching certification. So I have that as well. And I'm the mom of two adult, beautiful, beautiful children, Christian and Carla. So that's me.
Nice.
And small commercial cleaning
Nice.
company.
Oops, that's me. Oops, that's me. I'm checking the live right now. Okay. So that's awesome. Thank you, Kim, for always being here every morning with me, talking, bringing people on and talking to the community. So, of course, we're going to go into our favorite part of the show, which is the reason why we even started this show. So, for those that don't know, I did some media. I have a little media background. So I had a show when COVID hit. It was like, how do we keep doing this show? How do we keep highlighting people, right? One of the biggest things that a lot of entrepreneurs do, Kim, which you do it all the time, I do it all the time. We say, let's go get a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah.
Let's go meet at a coffee shop, blah, 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 blah. Right. So that's kind of where this all came from is let's talk about coffee. Let's drink coffee on the show and have conversations. So, what are you drinking this morning, Kim?
I'm drinking my mushroom coffee. And I'm drinking it in my brother, I told this story already, the Bah Humbug mug, although it's my favorite season, so no Bah Humbug on me. But I'm drinking my mushroom coffee with oat milk creamer and no
Nice.
added sugar. So it's helping me get away from that a little bit.
Nice. Same thing. So I'm drinking the same thing. I'm doing it in my a wise woman once said a la chingada and she lived happily ever after. That mug. That was the first mug my sister gave me when they separated. So it was kind of like, okay, F this. She's literally saying like F this
Yeah,
and lived happily
yeah.
ever after. That's what the mug says. So in the mushroom coffee as well. And I have not craved actual coffee. I mean, I have drank coffee still, but
Yeah.
it's not like I'm talking about 3 times a day I was drinking coffee, right? Now
Mhm.
it's like,
Mhm.
3 times a week. I could do it 3 times a week versus 3
Wow.
times a day, right? So
Yeah.
there's things that we gotta start letting go because we know they're not good for us.
Right, right.
Um, so for those that are watching the replay, we wanted to have the conversation, me and Kim, especially because Kim can relate with me, just talking about letting things go, right?
Right,
I think
right.
this is the end of the year. I think a lot of times this is something where I don't like New Year's resolutions, but it's a time to reflect, right?
Mhm.
Um, Look past at the year and see like what did I really do this year? What did I really accomplish? Um, we talked about it in our last episode, right, Kim? How we kind of went through in the business of whys, like what did we like, what did we not like, what do we want to do next year, right? Um, I
Yeah.
actually did. did that at work too with some of the committee members that for the since I lead and help with the Hispanic side of the investing, right? We did that with the committee members. Like, what do you like? What do you not like? How do you want to move this forward, right? Kim, what are your thoughts on letting go and at this time of the year and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I think I love what you just said. I said I like to reflect on the year. I'm not a big journal, as you know. In the program, that's probably one of the things because I'm more of an audio person. But this year, and it goes back to when we did the whys, that all day sit down mastermind. What do we like? What do we not like? I love that so much that I'm going to incorporate that with my leadership team. Even it's four of us, and we're going to do that after Christmas, right in that between time. And I feel like it's really important what serves you and what didn't serve you. And
Yeah.
because there's a lot of emotion, I think there is emotion on certain things that didn't serve you that you've
Yeah.
got to like address and then let go. Like, all right, I why didn't this serve me? And then write down the bullet points of the pros and cons of how it served you, how it didn't, and then what are you going to change for 2024 to make that year better for you all the way around. So I love the reflection piece, but I think it's really important to sit down. I know we had talked about you having a Sabbath. Remember that in one of the episodes? I felt like although we weren't alone, like on a Sabbath, but in business, and I think you can do this personally. Personally, you probably a Sabbath is really good, but the fact that I felt like that was a Sabbath day also, because we really sat there and we just honed in on the business of Wise, the community.
Hmm.
What can we do to serve the community? How can we be better? Um, Servants of the community. What does the community want? And really looking back over this year and saying they love this, maybe not so much this. So I thought it was very enlightening,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it also helps you. Time is of essence. As you get older, you really realize and value time so much more. And I think sometimes we forget time is just as precious as, like some people hustle to make money. You also have to be conscientious of your time, because that's also, that's even more valuable, because how you spend your time is how prosperous you can be, what kind of people you surround yourself with. It's that time piece that's so valuable, because your time is valuable. So who are you spending your time with, and how are you spending your time to be profitable? Right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I could go on and on, but that's kind of how I feel about and letting go, because in order to be productive, you do have to be real about what didn't work and let it go, so that you can almost like shut that door or move that out of the way so that you can get to where you need to go.
I agree, right? Because that is something, the whole letting go aspect, right? And then reflecting at the end of the year. Reflecting, I mean, one thing
Mm,
is people don't give enough time to reflection. I did want to do a sabbatical, and I didn't get to do a sabbatical in December, but I know that Saturday morning, past Saturday, right? All day I was just like, this is just I'm not doing. Usually I'm always on the go, right? Oh, there's this class. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this, right? Saturdays is never really a day off for me, ever,
mm,
or
yeah.
Sunday. Sometimes it feels just like it's just as busy as during the week. Um, so that's why Monday I'm usually like, I haven't really slept. So Saturday I kind of just I was just quiet, and I've been hearing a lot about these quiet retreats or these just being silent, not
Mhm.
talking, just being quiet with yourself and listening to the voice inside of you or in your head or the Holy Spirit or whatever, however you want to name it. And that's kind of what I did. I was just kind of very quiet, just kind of like taking it real slow that day,
Mhm.
enjoying my Saturday, especially before I did the divorce thing in the evening. But I was able to at least reflect half of the day on Saturday, you know?
Wow.
And that to me was like, okay, Jennifer, that's great. Like you actually gave some time to think about what is it that you really like. What, and I don't feel like it's over, right? I think um January is a big time for reflection anyways, but
Yeah.
definitely sitting in that quiet space and not having the TV on, not having music on, not having no distractions, right?
Yeah.
Especially, I know
Right.
it's hard for moms. I know it's not, that's not
Mm-hmm.
easy for moms, but
Mm-hmm.
I was alone, so it's kind of like, let me just think about where am I at, where am I going, why am I going this way, and what do I want to do in 2024 to make that happen.
Right, right. And how did you feel being alone like that and doing, now because it was kind of like you just had a realization like I'm alone. I I can kind of think I don't have no distraction. How did that make you like for me, I'll give you an example. The first time I went on a quiet retreat, Jennifer, I was like, I don't like this. I like because I want to talk to somebody. So those 3 hours to me felt like an eternity. But 3 years later, I went on another one. And that day, I remember the first time I just cuddled in a space and just because I like to cuddle in a blanket. And I cuddled in a blanket and I started writing something. I don't remember what. And then I said, this is boring. But I walked outside and I got really connected with nature. I was just
Mm,
walking in nature and I feel like I had a godly moment because I was just in nature and I just felt free. I just
okay.
felt I was just looking at the trees and this particular retreat that lady had horses. So I was just looking at the horses and looking at the beauty of their build and their body and their eyelashes and just stuff like that. It actually was beautiful. So that's why I asked, how was it? Was that your first time being alone in a while? Because you're a mom
I
of
mean,
little ones.
yeah, I struggled. So, and I never, and for those that are watching or watching the replay, I never talked about the separation divorce. It's been 2 years. I
Yeah.
rarely brought that up. And sometimes I'd be like, don't talk about it. Like when people wanted to like talk about it on air or talk about it in a public space, it's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want it to be mentioned. There was a lot of different factors behind that of like trying to keep it on the low. Like,
Yeah.
one, it's like a lot of people didn't even realize that I was even going through a divorce because I
Right.
wasn't, unless you were having conversation with me
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you fellowshipped with me or you hung out with me or you talked to me, then you were aware of it. But if you had no clue and you were not, not talking to me, you wouldn't even known that that's what was happening because I wasn't putting it on social media. I wasn't talking about it, right?
Right.
Um, so in the beginning of all of that, I hated the quiet time. I hated it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to like I remember like I would come home after work and my kids weren't here. My ex left or whatever, and it was like very awkward, the
Yeah.
silence,
Yeah.
right?
Good
It was
word.
it was uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
because now you're with yourself and your thoughts and you're by yourself, right?
Right.
So that's when I was training for that marathon. I was like, okay, I'm running out. Bye. Like let me go run and put an audio book or something like that. And let me hear that noise, right? Let me put my mind somewhere else. Let me go run. Um, but I do enjoy quiet time now. And Saturday, it was a great opportunity to like just sit with my thoughts. And I think a lot of people need to do that more. Really just sit with your thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, and that could be scary.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I
Be-
asked because it scared me originally. And then when I went, I totally understand. I mean, even though it's been I think how long has it been? 12 years since I separated from Oscar. So I remember coming home and the awkwardness of him not being there. I felt afraid because I was used to his presence. I had a lot of self doubt in the beginning. And at that time I was 49. So I thought, am I doing the right thing? I'm so much older. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. I was just so much self-doubt, fear, awkwardness. I love it. It was so awkward, not just like having him there, because there was a comfort. And I think sometimes in relationships, we do just get comfortable and forget why you're in a relationship. And it's not for comfort, right? Yeah,
Mm,
comfort can be a part of it, but you don't want to be in a relationship because it's comfortable, because it can be toxic and comfortable, right?
sure, absolutely.
So when you have that alone time with yourself, you can reflect on what you want, and you're just dealing with yourself. You're not dealing with others. And I'm actually proud of you that you didn't have a lot of back noise, so to speak, while you were going through your situation, because that can also cause a lot of confusion, because everyone's got an opinion, but no one knows what anyone goes through except the two people that are going through it, or the family that's going through it, right? And we all have opinions, and a lot of times our intention is good, but when you're trying to focus and reflect and do things that are good for you, and you have too much opinions, it can actually sometimes prolong you getting to where you need to go for you, because you're already in a confused, vulnerable state. And that's why I love therapy, because
Mm,
therapy, that's a neutral person in your life that has they have no emotional connections to what you're going through, only to be there for you, to help you, to coach you with your own words and your own thoughts and your beliefs and values to get to where you want to go. And so I'm just proud of how you handled a lot of things going through what you went through.
oh, thank you, Kim. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. Let me share. Sue is watching. She put, "Hello,
Oh,
beautiful ladies. Love you. Merry and blessed Christmas, Sue
Aw.
Vasquez." And then I'm sure this is her. She put, "No toxic relationships." Right. Um,
Yeah.
I think also it's a big right. And I guess might as well. I was hesitant yesterday to put the pictures of the divorce event that I had. Right. Like my dad was like, "You had a what party?" He's like, "People do that now? Like they do what?" And I was like, "Yeah, divorce party. It's people do it." And it wasn't like, and I was telling you earlier before we went on air, like it wasn't to be spiteful. It wasn't to
Yeah.
talk crap to my ex. It had nothing to do with that. If anything, me and him are very amicable right now. We're in a good, healthy space right now, and he's a great co-parent and he's a great support. So we're in a good space overall. I mean, sure, we're gonna
Good.
have still like disagreements, but um, we're in a much better space, and we work real well together with our girls. So I actually it was more of a closing a chapter situation and then kind of putting it out there like, okay, this is done. I'm divorced. I'm moving forward. And then actually I had no clue. That was actually, and I love therapy. Don't get I've been for those, if you're going through a separation, if you're grieving, if you lost there's some sort of loss in your life, I've always been a big pusher for therapy. Like, get therapy.
Yeah.
Just go get therapy because you need to unload on somebody. You shouldn't be unloading on your friends. That's inappropriate. Sometimes your friends are not capable of the unloading, and they'll do it as a courtesy, like, yeah, I'll help you, I'll be here for you. But that's unfair to them.
Yeah.
It really
Great
is,
point.
you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so I would unload to a therapist, and especially because I can't unload to my community, I can't unload to my friends, I can't, like there's certain
Right.
people I did and they knew, and I would say, hey, I need to unload or I need to share this with you. And they would be open to it, but I was mindful of like I can't keep on dumping stuff
Right.
on people,
Right.
right?
Right.
So therapy, right? I was going through so much therapy and I kept it to myself. But like this event that I did, and I invited friends and family out. Whoever showed up, and it is what it is. And I know it's around the holidays, so I know it's kind of difficult to do, have a lot of people come out. But I was singing all these songs, and it was kind of a release. It was like, okay, like this is a end of the close. This is it. This chapter is being closed. I can officially be like, yeah, this is over with. Thank you. 18 years. Close.
Wow.
Next
Yeah.
chapter. right? But
Uh-huh.
I never, my sister was like, "Oh, I told you." She was like, "I didn't buy you a cake." I'm like, "I didn't need a cake. That wasn't what this was for."
Mhm.
For me to kind of get together and kind of just close out this chapter, this season, and make it kind of, sometimes we need those tangibles for us
Yeah.
to see things like, why do we burn letters? Why do we throw balloons
Yeah.
in the air? Why do we do all these like things?
Yes.
Because we need something tangible to be like, yeah, this is over with. Um,
Yeah.
so
I
that's kind
love
of what
it.
that was.
I think I said this earlier when we quickly had a overview when before we jumped on. I never had that. And when I'm like your dad, right? I'm like, "Oh, a divorce party." Right? Because it was 12 years ago for me. So and I'm like, wow. And when you said it was just to like close the chapter. And I thought that is really nice. That's a nice idea of just, I'm just celebrating. I'm celebrating those 18 years and I'm celebrating my new journey of what's to come. Instead of it looking like, oh, I'm divorced. And I just felt like the whole thing was more of a celebration because you're still saying, you know what, we're in a better place. Whether some of us are or not, like my situation is different. I don't, my ex does not talk to me, right? We don't talk, but I still can celebrate those times. And I have two beautiful children with him. Whether he's with me or not, I'm going to celebrate that forever because I love my kids. Right. So I love the celebratory part of that and that you're celebrating you moving forward. And I think that puts things in such a different perspective. And again, you did it so nicely. So it's all in how your words and how you look at something, right? And looking
Mhm.
at it in your light of, you know what, I'm celebrating a new journey. I'm ready to start this new journey and move forward and see what God has for me is a beautiful way of stepping into this new chapter.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it happened all, yeah, I appreciate that. It happened all like end of the year. Finally
Yeah.
the divorce happened. It was like,
Right.
when is the divorce gonna happen? Right? Like I was just like, I don't know, right? And it's always in that monkey on your back, kind of like, when is this gonna be over,
Mm,
right? You always have that,
mm,
but it's like, oh, it's off my shoulder. Mind you, of course, can't get rid of the ex. I still have to engage with him and talk with him or
sure.
whatever, right? For the kids' sake. But overall, I mean, it's like, oh, I don't gotta deal with that no more, right? But yeah, I really tried doing it I just wanted to have a good time. That's all that was. That's all that was. I wanted to have a good time, sing. I ended up being like the request, like everyone's requesting songs for me to sing. And I was like, I'm not even like a vocalist. I'm not good at singing. Like I could try, but I'm not a good
Right.
singer, right? And it was
Uh-huh.
like, okay, no one, most people that went weren't like karaoke singers. If they didn't like it, I was like, okay, what do you want me to sing? It kind of got to that point, like, I'll just keep singing, you know?
Yeah.
Um, where I thought it was so cute, the bartender, it was a young guy. He was like,
Hmm.
"Can you sing Wrecking Ball?" And I was like, "Wrecking Ball?" He's like, "Yeah, by Miley Cyrus." I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "That's what got me through my breakup." I was like, "Oh, poor kid." I just thought to myself,
Oh.
like, "Oh, you broke my heart right now." So I sang that, just sang that. And I was telling her, like, I'm not heartbroken. I'm not sad. Like, this is fun for me. I'm having fun, right? But yeah, I just we wanted to talk about that on the air, just letting go, new
Yeah.
beginnings. I mean, Kim, you're big on that of like reflection and goals. We're both very goal oriented. So, what are the things that you want to start for 2024? Anything that you want to share, like what you're looking forward to for 2024?
Oh, in 2024, I just kind of mentioned it already, is my time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like you. Before it was, the boundaries, right? But now it is just being selective with time so that I can be more productive. Because, I've noticed lately at the end of the night, I'm just exhausted and I don't want to be that way. And as I mentioned to you Saturday, I had my closest family and friends over. And it was such a realization to me after everybody left and we were sitting outside. We put tents up and we had fireplaces under the tent. So we had like a winter wonderland outside because Saturday was rainy. So we were in here, but when you walked outside under the rain, it was actually really nice because it was warm under the tents, right? Under the other and with the camp, with the fireplace. And I realized I'm not having as much fun because I'm working so much.
Mm.
I just don't, like every night, most of the time during the week, I'm doing something. And then, like you on the weekend, Saturday is really my day to catch up at home. Like, okay, do we need food? Do I need to get laundry done? Do I need to see something? Are my kids okay? My kids really are self-sufficient right now. It's me just trying to connect with them, maybe to see, or there's an event going on, something. And then Sunday is usually clients calling or maybe employees. I'm always on the edge because Sunday kind of flows into Monday, how my Monday is going to look, right? So, one thing I can say, because I could, scroll the scroll out, is I want to have more fun in 2024. I
That's
work a
good.
lot. And we laughed so hard Saturday night and just had fun playing games. And I just was looking around the room saying, I've had 40 years or a lifetime with these people and I miss them and I want to
Oh,
be with them more. And I want my children were here. Both of them were here with me. And my godson was here. And I was really happy. And I realized as I was, drinking coffee at the end of the night, my mushroom coffee under the campfire with my best friend from since we were 14 and her husband. I was just looking at her and we were talking about high school and stuff. And I said, wow, I miss this. I miss this. And I've got to
mm,
make time to have more fun because it's important to have that balance, right? You talk about that in your program, how important. And let me tell you, community, it's so easy, as all of us know, and women, to get caught up in business or children or husband, everything but us, right?
mm.
So my advice to anybody listening would be to write down what's important to you, like we did with what's a priority for you, and make time for it this year because
Mhm.
time is of essence and it's shorter than you think.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing those wise words, Kim. I think that's great. I know I see Mary, she just jumped on. She said, good morning, beautiful ladies. And
Good
then we
morning.
have Jacqueline Porter, who is actually one of my good she's a good friend, and then she was one of my co-workers for many years when I worked in the
Oh,
nonprofit world, and now she lives in Florida. So thank you, Jackie,
oh,
for jumping on. Um, but yeah, I think that's good. Like, I guess right now, perfect time to reflect. There's nothing wrong with setting goals. And
mm-hmm.
I think, don't look at them as New Year resolutions because we know that New Year resolutions, they will always tend to fail. You need a community to hold yourself accountable, right? You need some sort of like, okay, this is what I want to focus on for the year of 2024. Be very specific, right? They call them SMART goals. If you're just going to say, I'm going to go to the gym every day, that ain't going to happen.
Nope.
I'm gonna eat healthy every day. That ain't gonna happen, right? But if you say something like, okay, moving forward for the year of 2024, I'm going to, try to, I always say this, like try to um sign up for a marathon, do a 5K. I know not everybody does marathons, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm
Yeah,
going to challenge
yeah,
myself to this type of goal by doing this, something that actually can hold you accountable to that goal, right?
right.
Um, I'm going to try to fit into this dress, buy the dress and work hard to get into it and work out 3 times a week, right? Sign up. It's funny because like the gym is going to be, I hate January so much in the sense of so many people are going to be at
Oh,
the gym.
yeah. It's the
And
pack.
then
That's the most packed of the year, January.
everybody wants to work out in January,
Yeah,
but then by February it gets empty again. It's like, oh,
right.
thank you, like you guys are gone. But being very smart with your goals and have accountability buddies and systems is how we actually get things done. So for 2024, yeah, reflect, set, say this is what I want to do, right? Maybe I want to get my credit score together. I want to clean up this. I want to, get, I don't know, buy a car, buy a house, right? Uh,
Yes.
I mean, those
Yes.
are all great goals. I mean, buying a house, get in touch with a lender, get in touch with a real estate broker, get in touch with some investors. Like, how can I figure this out to get a property this year? What does my money have to look like in order for me to be qualified to get a property, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
all these moving parts, but I think a lot of times we also get overwhelmed when we think of like, you can't eat the whole elephant, right?
No.
You have
Mm-mm.
to eat it in bite sizes. And that's what throws people off. It's like, oh my God, that's such an unachievable goal. But if you break down those goals into smaller steps, that's more achievable.
That's why I really suggest, if I could say one more thing to the community, is if you're struggling with goals, and I agree with Jennifer 100%. I don't look at resolutions anymore. I already have goals as far as my health, and since I'm committed to them, I've developed relationships at the gym, so I feel they're my accountability partners, even though they don't know it. They don't know that they're my accountability partners, but I go there because I don't want to not see them. So
For
in
sure.
my mind, they've become my accountability partners. But I would say to utilize our mastermind. It's once a month, and it's very productive because you write it down and then we're accountable to each other every month. And the thing about that is there's no punishment in it, but it does help you because you don't want to come the next month with nothing achieved.
Oh
And
yeah.
if you need help with those goals, you have a community. So it's not like you come there, write them down, and you're on your own. Remember that when you have a mastermind, we're there to help you achieve your goals, because it could be something. Okay, let's just say I want to buy a house. Well, then Jennifer can say, "What do you need to get the house, Kim?" And then, she can find somebody that lends. She can help me with the lender. She can help me with the realtor. She can help me if someone's trying to get healthy. We have Mary. Mary Yee is amazing with health. She can give you recipes. She can give you ideas. So that's just a little bit of, we have a Mel on our team who is amazing with systems. So if you're in a business and you're just kind of like scatterbrained, or you're stuck somewhere and you don't know a system to get you out of it, Amel can help you. So there's the idea of the mastermind. The whole thing about masterminding is to bring what you need to the table, and let's get you the results that you need with tools and resources and exchange of information, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
really would encourage you ladies, if you haven't done it, try it. It can be just as addicting as getting that lovely latte, or bring your latte and we sit down and have a brainstorming 2 hours. It's amazing. It's really, it's life changing. You just need that community is powerful when you're trying to attain goals.
Absolutely. And I think for you and me, since we're entrepreneurs, right? And I've been an entrepreneur for a really long time. Um, Majority of entrepreneurs work in their business, not on their business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They get lost working in the business versus actually planning out things for the business, taking time. You're doing all the things that you should be outsourcing or you should get a
Right.
team for, or right, instead of
Mm-hmm.
actually, oh, let me set some goals. I set quarterly goals. We set goals
Mm-hmm.
all the time. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
we're constantly working on our business as well, not just in our business. So I want to just share that final word. I know it's 8:21, so it's time to, a lot of people got to go. But thank you so much, Kim, for
Oh,
being my co-host for the entire 2023 year. And now we
you're
got a plan
welcome.
for we got a plan for 2024. And I love these coffee chats. So anyone that wants to jump on the show, wants to get interviewed, let me know. Reach out
Yes.
to us. We can bring you on the air and just highlight you and talk about what you do and why you do it and share with the community. But yeah, so thank you so much, Kim, for joining me this morning.
You're welcome. And everybody have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas
Yes, Merry
until we see
Christmas.
you again.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see
Yes.
you in January.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.